In this video, we are going to show you exactly how to start and scale to $10,000 plus per month in profit from graphic design in 2025. This is a full-length, in-depth graphic design business course for free. Now, brand design, more specifically, changed both of our lives, which is why we still think it's one of the best business models that you can start in 2025 if you're a creative seeking more flexibility and freedom in your life. I've personally been a graphic designer for over 6 years now and have achieved multi-six-figure years and even had a 30K month. Running my own design studio has not only changed my life, but it's also changed my students' lives, like Erica, who also achieved a 30K month without any employees or a team.
This is gonna be one of the longest videos on our entire YouTube channel, and there's gonna be an incredible amount of value. So make sure you are removing any distractions, grab a snack, and focus on the information. Take notes throughout this free course. Trust me, this video has the power to change your life if you take action after watching it.
Now, before we dive into the actual course, I want to explain that this video is about setting up and making money from a design business, creating a service, establishing a specific target market, and scaling to 10K plus and beyond. This is not about gaining graphic design skills like how to create a logo. This is about the business of design.
Most designers are stuck because they're charging based on time and not the value that they provide, right? We don't want to be stuck in the pixel pusher mindset, because then you start to be treated like an employee, which we definitely are not. We are professional designers who can strategically solve creative problems.
Many creatives are doing random one-off projects with no clear path or direction. What I mean by this is that a lot of times when designers start working with clients, they do any and everything that comes their way, and then their portfolio becomes this like jumbled, cluttered mess of all of these different things that they can do. And although you might think that that's a good thing to show how versatile your skill set is, it actually works most of the time as a disadvantage, and it doesn't make you look like an expert. So part of what we want to show you is how to position yourself as an expert and position yourself as a high-ticket designer by redefining your portfolio and your target market, which we will get further into during the course.
The third reason why most designers are stuck is that they're marketing daily, but not strategically. They're not showing up on a daily basis with strategy behind it of who they want to target, why they want to work with them, and what creative solutions they provide. Now you know what keeps designers stuck. Let's get into the free course.
The first thing that you want to do when getting started is figure out your ideal pricing and the services that you want to offer. So let's say in theory, long term, you want to make 10K per month. If you are only charging $1,000 right now, that means in order to hit 10K, you are going to have to work with 10 clients per month in order to hit that number. That's a lot of clients. That's really hard. On the flip side, if you charge $5,000, you only have to work with 2 clients per month to hit that number. That's a lot more manageable, a lot more sustainable, and a lot easier in our opinions than trying to work with 10 clients for $1,000 a month. Most designers are struggling to even attract and book 10 clients a month. So it makes a lot more sense in most cases to raise your prices, work with less clients, make more, and prevent yourself from entering the burnout stage. So that's step 1.
You want to focus on quality over quantity, okay? And down here, we have our free pricing guide, and we have 5 different things that kind of qualify this. But for this video, we're just showing you the 4. You need to focus on what software you're using, right? What your process and client experience is like for the client. Is it a luxury experience? Maybe it's a little bit more cheap. You also want to focus on depth of knowledge you have with the strategy portion of things. Because if you're just doing, pixel pushing and designing exactly what the client wants, that's not much of a strategy, right? You also want to focus on the deliverables, right? And I don't think the deliverables are the biggest piece of this equation, but they do matter.
And a lot of times when designers go to price themselves, they think of experience as years, but here at the Brief Collective, we don't really care about your years of experience. We care about the client experience. We care about your process. We have met designers who have been designing for 2 years that are better than designers that have been creating for 10 years. So when we say experience, it's what is the client experiencing while working with you? Not your years of experience, not your degree from college. It's about the client experience and all of these other variables involved. And you can pause this and use that QR code up here to go download this, or find it in the link in the description. There's a lot more information included in this pricing guide, but we did just want to give you a brief overview since this is kind of part one of this entire course here.
Yeah, pricing is one of the first things that trips up a lot of designers whenever they're first starting out. So we created this guide for you to help you determine your pricing based on your current experience, the software you're using, the strategy knowledge you have, and the deliverables you're providing for your client.
Section 2 is identifying your dream client. And this is something most designers skip over, and they try to serve everybody instead of just serving their people, instead of just serving their unique market. So we recommend identifying who you want to work with based on your style of design or their personality or the industry that they're in. There are a lot of different ways to niche down and identify your clients without appealing to everybody and just being the designer that does it all. And we've said this before in our other videos. If you want a good cupcake, you're probably going to be willing to pay extra for a cupcake from the cupcake shop instead of just going to the grocery store that offers cupcakes, because you know if this place specializes in cupcakes, they're probably going to be much better, and you're willing to pay more for a better high quality cupcake if that's what you really want. The same goes for the industry and who you are working with.
Yeah, guys, I want you to remember that if you're for everybody, you're for nobody. Okay, so we want to make sure that we are really niching down on the type of people we are working with, right? And it doesn't have to be with industry, it can be with style. It can be with, personality type. It can be for a lot of different things. For me personally, I love working with beauty-based businesses because I know that industry like the back of my hand, okay? My mom owned her own salon. My stepmom owns her own salon. And my best friend also owns her own salon. I know what these women need, what they're struggling with, and I know exactly how I can help. So when you focus in on a niche, it makes it a lot easier for you, so you're not constantly having to reinvent the wheel every time you get a new client.
So when I was a new designer, I offered everything from logos to brochures, business cards. If you named it and it had graphic design involved, I literally did it. Like, I was taking on any and every client I could get because I just wanted to make money. However, I soon realized that that wasn't very sustainable. And I was just doing these one-off projects for, not really a lot of money, like $75, $50, $100 here and there. That's not a lot. And so once I decided that I was going to specialize in brand and web design, that is when I really started to grow my business exponentially, because then I was starting to attract these clients who are wanting bigger projects, who are willing to pay more, and they're willing to pay me because I was an expert and specialized in that specific field. So again, this is just one sector of niching down. Niche down on the services that you offer. Then go even further and target a specific type of clientele, like Marissa was saying, with the beauty industry or the wellness industry, or by personality type, which is my favorite. So better you can position yourself as an expert, the easier it's going to be for you to book higher ticket clients faster.
Yeah, this is all about what you need to make your creativity the most successful it can possibly be. So who do you work well with? And that way you're not having to constantly reinvent the wheel every time you get a new client, and you can operate from a place where your creativity is happiest.
And you can ask yourself these types of questions to figure out maybe who is your dream client? Who do you want to work with? And if you haven't ever worked with your dream client, build passion projects that are going to attract them. So many times designers stop themselves and say, well, I've never worked with that industry before. I don't have any projects in that industry. That's okay. You don't have to have already worked with them. Work on passion projects and make a portfolio that's going to attract the types of people you want to work with. All right, moving on to section 3, attraction marketing. This is one of our favorite topics because so many times When designers start out, they're told to cold pitch and spend hours on Upwork and Fiverr and all these places that kind of feel like a race to the bottom. And you're constantly reaching out. You might feel a little icky about it, might feel a little weird, but we like to use attraction marketing. And this means that clients come to us and we create content that naturally resonates with the people we want to speak to. So they inquire through our website and approach us about working together. We don't have to spend hours cold pitching them and feeling awkward and icky and waste time being salesy pitching to people who probably don't need our services or even consider our services.
We want to make sure that you are being a client magnet, not a content machine, okay? This means that you use different features on social media to aid in your conversation, okay? Is your bio set up to call out those people within your niche, right? Do you have the right web link? Do you have pinned posts that tell them who you are, what you do, and how to connect with you? Are you positioning yourself as the authority figure to get hundreds of likes and to get those follow through, those conversions, get people in your DMs to reach out to you? You want to make sure that your content is valuable, right? Are you marketing consistently? Are you just posting for the sake of posting because you feel like you have to? There's a difference there.
Value and high converting posts are better than having a lot of likes. Because here's the thing, you can get a lot of likes on your post, but none of those be your ideal clients. Whereas you might get a few likes, but those few likes are your actual dream clients. So when you're posting on social media, just because you're not growing or going viral does not mean that you are not in the process of converting somebody into a paying client. And sometimes the posts that actually get the least amount of views, the least amount of engagement can be the ones that bring in your dream clients. So don't always look at the follower count or the views as a metric of success. It's a lot deeper than that. That's just a vanity metric, and sometimes we can really get in our heads and doubt ourselves when we're only focusing on those type of metrics. This is our student Veronica, who booked a 5K client and has less than 1,000 followers online.
Veronica did this because she started posting the right content that her dream clients needed to see. She wanted to work in the wellness space, specifically with Pilates instructors or Pilates studio owners. She ended up getting her dream client because she made a post specifically targeted to those people using the hashtags that are already popular in those industries. So she was a magnet for that client, and because she put that post out, that client reached out in her DMs and she booked them the same exact week.
And she knew how to speak to them in the content, right? Like she knew who she was targeting. She knew the pain points they were experiencing. She knew the challenges they were experiencing. She knew what they cared about. She knew their lifestyle values because she knew the type of client she wanted to attract. So in the content she made, yes, she was using good hashtags and she was using a relevant location where her ideal clients might be hanging out, but she was also able to position the content in a way that really resonates with her dream clients. For example, it's going to resonate with somebody in the wellness space a lot more when you're talking about how it's a process and hard to open a yoga studio because you need a website to take bookings in advance and blah, blah, blah. Whereas if you're just talking about in general, oh, well, you need a website to book people, blah, blah, blah. Which one do you think is going to resonate more with the wellness client? It's going to be the one that was specific to something a wellness client may be experiencing in their day-to-day life. Your clients want to see themselves in your content. All right, now we want to move into section 4, which is the client experience. And this is really important because this is what keeps clients coming back. So a client wants to hire you and you want them to have such a good experience that they not only come back to you in the future, but they tell their friends about you. And so here's a little example of a client process roadmap.
This is really old, but this is for my brand, MB Creative Agency. And people feel secure when they know what steps are about to happen, okay? So we always begin with a brand application, right? I want to make sure I'm interviewing these people that they're a good fit for me as much as I'm a good fit for them. We want to make sure that we're both in alignment. Next up, we have a conversation. This is the discovery call, right? I call it a first date because that's branded to me. It's a romantic relationship, poetic, right? We have a first date to see if we can take things to the next level, right? Go get cozy. Let's sign a contract. Okay, I don't do any design work until you sign a contract. Okay, next up, That's when we start doing the dreaming phase, right? The mood boarding, all that stuff. This whole experience creates a vibe for what to expect, okay? They don't have to know the ins and outs of the how it gets done, but they just want to know the benchmarks on what's going to take place and what they're paying for. This helps people feel confident in that. Maybe your experience isn't as long as mine, okay? But then we wrap it up in a nice bow. I send off the deliverables, bada bing, bada boom. I get the testimonial. We call the project done. This is a high touch experience, okay? This is what a luxury experience looks like because they know what to expect throughout the entire client journey. And the beauty of a client experience, right, is that this framework becomes my SOPs, right? My creative team know, okay, she just had a first date call. We got the contract signed. Okay, now we're in the dream work phase. Everybody knows what to expect at every single milestone in the experience.
And so many times designers start by just doing things through email, doing things through the Instagram DMs, doing things through Facebook Messenger. And at some point that gets really messy. And I personally experienced that when I started. I was just doing things back and forth through email. Feedback was getting lost. My process wasn't organized. I wasn't creating a 5-star experience for high-tech clients. They weren't going away feeling so amazed at the experience. They might have loved what I did for them, but the experience was sloppy. And so this is a really important step that is going to contribute to you attracting those high ticket clients, giving them the clarity they need to book you, and then telling their friends about you and having them come back. You don't want to skip this because you get so excited somebody wants to work with you. You just jump straight into it without creating a smooth process for yourself, for your team, and for your clients. And something else that you want to consider when you're working with premium clients is the aftercare, the offboarding. How are you going to deliver something that not only helps them stay consistent, but also makes them wow, surprised, shocked, remember you? So for me and my clients, I send them out a printed version of their brand guidelines after we're done working together. And Marissa, her clients, again, in the beauty industry, she's all about sending flowers and things that relate back to her brand.
Yeah, and along with the flowers, I send them a branded note card that has their logo on it, just so they can really see and feel their brand in real life. That's how you embody the brand, is you bring it to the real life, right? Everything we create, or a lot of what we create, is for the online presence. But if you can take that extra step and bring it to real life, then your clients feel so good. What are they going to do? Take a picture of it, tag you. They feel celebrated, and you also get celebrated at the same time. This is what organic marketing is all about. Now, when I sent my first bouquet, did I think about how the client was going to post me? Absolutely not. I just wanted to do a nice thing. But then I reaped the benefits of it, and I ended up booking a client off of that bouquet post. You want to make sure the aftercare, right? The aftercare isn't just client gifts. It's all sending them an exit guide, right? So that you can collect hard data points to know how you did. What part of the experience could you have improved? Maybe you also want to collect a testimonial. That's the place you can do that. You're going to be able to find out a lot more what the client experience was like firsthand from the client.
Yeah, and that's something that's also really hard for us as designers, right? Like, we don't like criticism. And it's something that we really have to start embracing, because that is how we learn what we're doing right and what we can do better. And do you have any tips for actually getting clients to fill these out or give feedback? I think a lot of times designers are often like, well, I couldn't get a testimonial, or the client's not responding,
Yes, make it part of your offboarding process. They don't get the deliverables until they filled it out, right? This is one of the last steps on their to-do list that they have to complete. With everything in the client experience, guys, we want to promise boldly and deliver exactly. Okay, we want to make sure that we are delivering exactly what we put out in there. And so if you make this part of the process of a step that they are already anticipating and expecting, then they will follow through.
And the next section is self-belief, one of our favorite freaking topics. And a lot of times designers kind of ignore this topic because they think that it's this magical woo-woo stuff and that it doesn't really make a difference. But the truth is, self-belief is one of the most important pieces to this entire puzzle. This is a quote from my favorite book right now, and it says, "There's a simple lesson here. Whatever you want to achieve in life, whatever your dream may be, I promise it will be difficult." And that is why you need a really, really firm self-belief. Like, if we did not believe in ourselves, I couldn't have gone from $75 logos to booking 15K clients, because I had the same belief here that I have in myself here. But if I didn't believe in myself at this point, I would have never been able to get to this point.
Same with me. That girl, that young girl who didn't have kids, charging $500 for websites, now charging 12K, 15K projects and being a true creative director. I would have never been able to get there unless I believed in myself and I proved to myself that everything is figure-outable.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. Everything is figure-outable. And you're going to have people say really negative things to you, like you just are. Like this lady, and this is when I just started my business too. She told me that, number one, she didn't like my portfolio. It was too cutesy. And then on top of that, she said that I looked 14 years old. I didn't look like a seasoned professional. She said little entrepreneur, which if you read between the lines, that's kind of really condescending if you ask me. And if I didn't have self-belief, if I didn't believe in myself, I could have let this message completely hold me back and be like, you know what? She's right. I'm not ready for this. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a professional. And I could have fell into the trap of letting someone else's opinion get in the way of my dreams. So that is why we say you've got to have that self-belief. You've got to have delusional confidence in order to do this.
Yeah, marketing your skills and expertise becomes much easier once you truly believe in yourself. The key difference in being experienced and having this mindset shift is holding firm on your prices, right? When somebody starts asking you for an emotional discount, this and this is happening in my life, please feel bad for me. Give me $1,000 off. The answer is no. And that way you avoid burnout, knowing when to say no. No can be very, very powerful, especially when you know to use it, right? You need to protect your creativity at all costs and protect that belief in yourself. Like, your belief in yourself should be unshakable. What somebody else has to say shows everything you need to know about them, and it says nothing about you, okay? They are just projecting onto you. So if they don't like something about the project maybe that you've created, okay, well, we don't have to freak out about it. Let's just go back to the drawing board. Okay, where did we have a miscommunication? And let's get this back on track. Have belief in yourself that you can be the driver of this client experience. You can be the driver of this brand identity design for your clients. You are the leader, not your client.
That's a really, really good point. And if you are not careful, you'll end up being a pixel pusher. And high ticket clients aren't after a pixel pusher. They're after an expert that's going to tell them, hey, I know you want this color in your brand, but I don't think it's going to work for you. And here's why. They don't want somebody that's just going to be like, okay, you want this? Let me do it. Oh, you want that? Let me do it. They want a true expert that is going to help their business and tell them what they need to do in order to reach their goals. That's why they hire you.
All right, the next step in this, guys, is consistency. Consistency isn't showing up every single day, but it's showing up intentionally every week in a way that works well for you. It's so important that you are posting, showing up regularly on social media. And regularly doesn't mean every Monday at 9 a.m. Regularly means that I'm going to post my series that people can recognize every week. We want to make sure that when you're consistent, right, that is something reliable that you can trust, that your client can trust. They're going to see that and be like, wow, okay, I really trust this girl. I want to work with her, because if she can be this consistent with her own brand, imagine what she can do for mine.
And like we said, consistency doesn't mean you got to show up every dang day, but I sure did. When I was building my business, I knew that I didn't want to rely on Upwork or Fiverr or any of those places. And I knew that at some point, clients would start coming to me if I kept showing up on Instagram. So I scrolled back in my feed. And if you look at this, May 11th, 2021, May 12th, 2021, May 13th, 2021, May 14th, 2021. I was showing up every day, literally manually making these posts every single day at 12 p.m. I made a commitment to myself to show up. And now I do have 60,000 followers. And that took me years to achieve. And I want you to go, if you have the time, look at my profile and see how many posts I've made. It is over 1,000 posts. That's a lot of posts. So It's really easy to compare yourself to other people who have a quote unquote big following, but you have to remember that a lot of them, some know, but a lot of them took years of consistent posting in order to get to that point. So if you're just starting out in your year one or your day one, do not compare yourself to somebody that's on their year 6 or somebody that's on their day 589 when you're still there sitting at day one. Don't, again, let those doubts stop you from continuing to show up and be consistent even when you're not seeing those results you want.
Inconsistency can really be detrimental to your brand image, right? Because what is a brand, right? It's the reputation that you have. What is the reputation that you want to leave on your online presence?
When you show up, people remember you, right? So if you're showing up consistently every week, 3 days a week, posting on your stories, it doesn't always have to be in your feed post. And the people that are following you are constantly seeing your face. They're constantly seeing your work. They're going to remember you. They might refer you to somebody else, even if they don't personally need design work. But if you show up once every 2 weeks and then ghost again, that's not going to do anything for your business. And in fact, it's probably just going to get you more frustrated because you're not seeing the results you want over and over and over again.
All right, next up, let's go over to data tracking. Data tracking, section 8. This is our last section we have to go over. Okay, data is the difference between making 2K a month and 10K a month, right? Because if you know where your clients are coming from, you can know where you need to go and show up, okay? Even if you haven't been tracking from when you first opened your business, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up, but I want you to start tracking now. It's going to transform your business.
Yeah, are you getting most of your clients from Instagram? Are people coming to you from Pinterest? Maybe they're on LinkedIn. You may not know the answer, but something that you can do that will drastically make it 10 times easier for you to figure out what's working is to just put in your form a required question that says, where did you hear about me? Was it Google? Was it TikTok? Was it a referral? Was it Instagram? That way, the more inquiries you get, the more you can start putting in a little, Google Docs or something. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, but you can track every time somebody inquires where they put that they found you, so you can start making sense out of your data. And this may take years to really figure out and nail down, but you're going to have to experiment, and it's going to take a little time to get the answers you need to double down on what is actually working.
Yep, you're going to be able to look at that data and see which offers are most profitable, okay? How many inquiries did you have versus how many did you close? That's going to be your close rate. You're going to really have to go and look at, where did my last live client come from? Whenever I did this, I found out that most of my clients were coming from word of mouth, right? My referrals were out of this world. And so I started to capitalize on that, and I put that into my client experience. Hey, what are 3 other people that you think need these services? Put their contact info right here. And I would reach out to those people. And, I wouldn't get every single person to give me a response back, but at least they would know I existed. And months later, they ended up coming back to me. You can really ask yourself what's working and what's not, so that you know where to put your creative effort and time.
Yeah, and so for me, 90% of my clients come from social media, but for Marissa, a lot of her clients come from referrals, and I'm over here like, what the fuck? How does that work for you? But it also boils down to who you are as a human and how you connect with people. I am really, really great at pulling people in and attracting them through my content. And I have spent years developing that skill. It is a skill that you have to build. But Marissa's really great at talking to people and connecting to people on an emotional level. So it makes sense that referrals work better for her. And the last point that we want to add on this is raise and refine. What that means is raise your prices over time. Every time you get a new client, raise the price. Use our pricing guide to help you figure out what your base pricing should be. Every time you get a new client, try to reach that price point. Try to go beyond that price point. Refine what's working, what's not. Can you make your portfolio better? Do you need to do more passion projects? Constantly ask yourself these questions, because this is not an overnight get rich quick scheme. It's just not. This is something that truly does take time, because you have to work on all these different little aspects of your business in order to get to this point.
Yeah, we are now on semester 11 of Design Biz Academy, and every single semester, Kinsey kind of gets mad at me for this. I'm like, okay, what went well? What could we have done better? And every single time we are raising the standard, we're refining it and fine-tuning it to the most successful thing that we could possibly make.
So that's our free course on how to scale to $10,000 plus per month from graphic design in 2025. If you have any questions about anything we mentioned during the course, feel free to drop a comment and we'll get back to you. And if you're ready to seriously commit to booking higher ticket clients and ditch the starving artist mentality for good, consider checking out our Design Biz Academy University program.
It's designed to help you implement everything we've covered today and so much more with step-by-step guidance from us coaches on building a design business that works for you rather than the other way around. It's not just another course that's going to sit in your email box and collect digital dust. It's a complete roadmap that we wish we had when we first started our design businesses.
You'll get access to 20 plus video lessons about how to build a six-figure graphic design business, the exact templates we use to book high-ticket clients, our marketing strategies, bi-weekly group coaching sessions, a one-on-one with your coach, which is either myself, Coach Kinsey, or Coach Marissa, and so much more, like a community of designers who are all on the same path, there to cheer you along and support you in this process.
It has everything you could possibly need to scale your graphic design business to $10,000 a month or more. In fact, we even guarantee that you're going to sign your first $5,000 client in 6 months after starting our Design Biz Academy course, or you get your money back.
So if this sounds like something for you, click the link in the description below to hop on our waitlist for our next upcoming semester. Finally, like and subscribe for more graphic design business content. And if you enjoyed this free course, check out our video with Hallie, a DBA student of ours who has gone from $600 logos to booking $3,500 projects in under a year.